NBA2k is in the building with the crew again. I'm pretty sure this will be coming back, guys. And in this video, I want to kind of share what we can expect to improve and to go forward with this. I want you to also share what you think needs improvement in the comments. But the main thing that I want to mention overall is this is interesting. You know, extra rewards are always encouraging, and trying to connect with people is always good. Personally, I got some changes that I think are going to be interesting for you guys to check out. We're going to go to this lovely place called My Court and talk about it. Let's do it. First things first, man, the crew is the dividing conversation. Some people hated it, people loved it. You couldn't earn all the rewards. For example, the rep and the Gatorades, unless you were in the crew that you were playing with. And that caused a problem in the community because people were complaining like, hey man, like I can't get this unless I go to another crew. And like, it's kind of silly. So this is dividing the community. I think we should just erase that. I think it should just be like, hey, this is a crew, sure, but let's go ahead and make it so that all the rewards are there no matter what, right? You shouldn't get more rewards just for playing with 3 or 4 people, right? So that's that. Then you got this cool system here where it keeps track of who's scoring what, and I like that. I think that's pretty dope. And you're able to customize with, for example, I got my logo in there for A1, which we are going to be probably recruiting for the next one. We had a decent year. I didn't get to do everything I wanted with the crew. It's a long story, but I wanted to get them in the professional level. But anyways, that's a whole nother combo. We might do that this year coming up. But the fact is, one of the biggest things for me is not even any of this stuff. The rewards are dope. Like, I want a cap breaker. How many did we get? 4, right? In this one thing, I think that's pretty fire for them to give us this many cap breakers in here. But keep that, keep a lot of the other stuff. I think this is cool. Whatever they want to add and make it even more exciting is great. The weekly rewards are nice too. I actually did them a few times and was like, yo, let's try to get these done, man. Let's see what we could do. But yeah, it wasn't a big deal for me on that side of it, but I think they need to do new things. And one thing is, when you load into My Court, we're gonna have a crew court. Okay, you heard it here first. A crew court, just like the Pro-Am, where you're able to customize. You can do that for your crew as the leader. Put in your logo, you know, customize it just like Pro-Am, the exact same way. And you can kind of do it in here, of course. So if I really wanted to, I'd go crazy with this and lock in. But those are the kind of things that I'm personally really excited to see if they can do it. And the conversation is, okay, well, we're gonna customize it. I'm gonna put my logo. I gotta earn all this, right? Just like you do with Pro-Am. And then that's gonna be fun and all, right? Like going through this whole process, get my logo in there, all that good stuff. Like I said, I want that. Now, the problem is, what else, you know, are you going to give us to make this crew thing feel even more authentic? Guess what? Your whole crew automatically loads into this area. And so anytime you load in, you can load in with your crew. And right now it's a little anti-social. Come into My Court, I got to have them join. And don't get it twisted. We're still going to have a private mode for you to just join in privately. You can put a setting. For example, let's say I go here, always let me load into my own court, not to the crew. So I could have that setting and end up in My Court version. But if I turn it on for the crew, it means I can join in with the crew at all times and I have to worry about it. The moment I load in, all my boys is here. We're gonna run some practices, play against each other, hang out in here, and maybe there'll be some other things. For example, I was mentioning this for 2K. Learn should be with your My Career player. So let your My Career go into these learns. You can do that with your crew, maybe, you know, and some My Career stuff. I've always talked about them adding something like that. And then right next door, the Street Kings. I have videos about the Street Kings breaking down what I want from it and how more co-op should be in there and more PvP should be in here, tournaments. And then I also mentioned on a different video the story mode for 2K that I think should be implemented. But all that to say that the crew should also benefit from that because they can all be a part of it as they go forward. And then this just lets you rock out. And then now you can run things like plays. For example, this is a cool feature where I can call in, for example, let's say I call my friends or AI and all that. We got a bunch of guys in there. And then when we get on the court, we can pick the exact mode that we want. This is important in my opinion. More modes, more practice with the team, running plays, actual plays, so that people can learn what we need to do defensively or offensively. And you might say, oh, that's a lot of work, that doesn't need to happen. Like, no, they already have this in the game, just don't got for the co-op side of it. And this will be very fun for the crew to kind of learn to get better together right before they go into a match. They're like, hey man, let's go do this quick practice plays. And then we'll jump into a practice plays and you're loading in and being able to call your own play as you go. So check this out. So imagine you got your crew in here and you're like, hey, we're going to run defense. We want to run zone defense, blah, 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 2-3, boom. We go for that. Or offense. You're like, hey man, we want to get point guard, top of the key. Let's do a flare. And whatever type of offense you do, kind of set it up, pass the ball out. He got an open look. You don't want to give it to him, but just an example of being able to do this. And what's cool about this is that it just sets the play up all over again. Whenever I want, I could just go ahead and change it all over again. Just run any type of simple play, like runs it on the side over here, get a quick pick, get a shot off, blah, blah, blah. And that to me is way better in this game if it was with the co-op, having the full team to run all that and basically train in different ways. And you can do it all in there somewhat with 3 players, but imagine a full 5-on-5 and you got your crew hanging out and there's probably like some type of mini games in here outside of this pick'ems that can be a part of it. Okay, that's step number 1. So basically, instead of my court is the crew court. Okay, and you can decide on the settings over there every time you load in, will you go into the crew or your own? A lot of people would like to be on their own, and then some would love to just group up and just bump into friends along the way. And that to me is already an improvement for the crew. And then from there, we can talk about other things that can be implemented for the crew and ways to enhance that. That's going to be up to you. Feel free to share your thoughts and opinions on what we can do. That's just something cool for the crew system that I believe will return for sure. Okay, 27. Again, I don't have the answers, you do. So feel free to share your thoughts, and there's no wrong answers here. It's all ideas and concepts, and it might not make it into 2K27, might make it a 2K28 or 9 because it takes years for them to use the ideas. I'll say this, they took a lot of my ideas and made it better, and not made it better, but they made their own versions of it. And it's like, okay, that works as long as it's in the game. Like simple stuff that I've mentioned for like 5-10 years, and it ends up somehow in the game. And I'm not the only one that mentions it, right? When I say I mentioned it, maybe someone else said it before me, right? I didn't hear them say it, but we all got similar ideas, right? Everybody's like, balance the game, and we'll argue about what that means. But like, does that mean defense, blocks, and steals? Does that mean better shooting or less shooting? You know, like there's a different conversation within the conversation, but we all have the same vision as far as like how to get this a better experience. And that's pretty much it for the crew. But I have so many good videos, like the story one I think is probably one of my favorites, but there's tons of more for 2K27 on the channel popping up right now. Check it out. Leave a like, subscribe, and comment if you want to show love and support, because that's what we do out here, man. I need y'all, love y'all, appreciate y'all. Take a moment to thank God for another day. Be good to yourself, be good to others, stay blessed. Peace.